Amazing thing to take a little song that you wrote on guitar and hear it come to life with all of these instruments and all of these voices. It's humbling. Thank you all so much. Thank you. So this talk this morning is about healing, which makes me very uncomfortable. And that's sort of been the journey I've been on for the last year of seminary, is doing everything I can to walk through, to sit in, to touch, to maybe even wallow sometimes in the places where I feel uncomfortable. And I'm going to tell you why. I have heard probably thousands, literally, of sermons on healing. Take up your bed and walk. Your faith has healed you. You know, televangelists shout it, and people spend their life savings, hoping against hope that such healings are possible. And some of us shake our heads at their naivete. Like, you can't buy a healing. You can't pay for a healing, of course. But when our loved ones or we are hurt or sick or in pain, we are at our most vulnerable. And so we come to healing prayer. And we know in Unity, what we hear in Unity and in the Centers for Spiritual Living, in the New Thought movement, is that you can heal, that we have the power to heal. And I hear this: say the right words, have enough faith, use your visioning power, harness the Christ Spirit, Jesus, the archangels, the ancestors, stay positive. Mastermind, meditate, Reiki is a good thing, yoga. Envision yourselves all at peace with one another. Or envision your white cells blowing up your cancer cells with AK-47s. Drink aloe juice, bathe in colloidal silver, eat raw, boil everything, go natural, take the drugs, don't let them poison you. These are just some of the messages that we get. Firm, perfect health, deny the disease, declare your perfection, and you will be healed. And the implicit message here, and sometimes it's explicit, is that there's a right way to pray for healing. And if you could just do it all right, you would be healed and your life would be whole and perfect. And I see a danger in that, which is that if there's a right way, then that implies that there's a wrong way. Oh, you're not healed. You've been doing it wrong, obviously. And so people who are in, we laugh, but I have actually heard statements from people that were pretty close to that very statement. And it can become a violence against people at their most vulnerable moment, when we flippantly say, but you heal yourself. You've got the power. You know, why haven't you done it? And I call this New Thought fundamentalism. That we take this great teaching about the power that we all have within us, that Christ's power, that power of God that we believe lives in, that I believe absolutely lives in every single human on this planet, actually in every single thing on this planet. I believe that God created the world out of the substance of God. We are standing on God, we are breathing God, we are walking God, we are living God's life as us in this moment. But in my 30 years of experience praying with people in a sort of official kind of capacity, what my experience is that some heal. I have seen people with miraculous healings. And I've also prayed with people who died of their disease. Despite great faith and spiritual power, and often to their complete surprise, and sometimes a feeling of betrayal. What did I do wrong? A close friend once asked me as she was dying. She had been so sure that she had the power to cure her stage 4 lung cancer. What did I do wrong, Melinda? I thought I did it all right. And all I could say to her was, you did nothing wrong. There's no wrong way to do this life. There's no wrong way to do this life. And the fact is that we pray hard and we pray strong and we try to pray right, and still people die every day all over this planet. And why? Why do they not recover even when they're doing everything right? Well, here's the uncomfortable part. I have no idea. It's a mystery. And one thing I have really learned in my last 2 years of seminary is how little I know. The more I learn, the less I know. It's a mystery. And I'm comfortable with that. It's part of the great mystery. But I do have another question. And this, to me, is the important question here. What actually does it mean to heal? Because I've seen people undergo miraculous healings in their spiritual and emotional lives and in their relationships and in their own self-love. Miraculous healings, who then died of their disease. I have also seen people undergo miraculous healings in body, that suddenly the cancer was gone. They beat the odds. Suddenly it was gone. And I have seen some of those people go on to live lives where they never really even know who they really are. They never even get a glimpse of their wholeness. Their body got healed, but they live their life and die without a glimpse of their wholeness. Now I ask you, which of these was healed? The person who had the miraculous healings and died, or the person who had the miraculous healings and lived a joyless life? You know, I'm not putting a judgment on it. Both of them were healed. But true healing, what if the purpose of healing is not just to live through or recover from disease or injury or whatever it is? What if the purpose of healing, what if the true meaning of healing, in fact, is to recognize, to experience, and to live or die in full awareness of our wholeness? The wholeness we're meant to be, the wholeness we were created to be. Because true healing, as far as I can see, is always only about love. It's about welcoming love in. It's about understanding love. It's about surrendering to love. It's about relaxing into love. It's about trusting love. And it is about coming to love ourselves, regardless of any outer manifestation. And I believe that learning to stand in our own worthiness and recognizing the intrinsic worth of all others is the essence of the spiritual path. It's the work. And I got to tell you, you may recognize this. It's a lot easier for me to see your wholeness than it is for me to see mine. Because I got this tape running. I got this monologue constant going in my head. I'm falling short. I need to improve. I need to move faster. I need to slow down. I should meditate more. I should get up and exercise. I should do it right. Or somehow I deserve to experience sickness or disease. And the culture supports that. I have a dear friend that I saw at a conference. I only see him about twice a year at conferences, and I saw him at a conference not too long ago. And his wife, he shared with me that his wife had just been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. Different person from the one I was talking about before. And he said, I can't tell everybody here that, I just can't say it over and over again. Would you please be the one to let people know so that they can be holding Ginger in prayer? And I said, sure I will. And I went around to the people that I knew were mutual close friends of us and said, you know, Danny wants you to know that this is what's happening. She's going through treatment. We don't know what the prognosis is, but you know, he's preparing for a life without her, which is not what he planned. And every single person said, "Did she smoke?" Every single person asked me that. And these weren't cruel people. These weren't uncaring people. Our culture supports this. And I have to ask, is that relevant to the diagnosis after the diagnosis? And are we really asking if it's her fault? And that is the thing about healing and disease that we have to be really, really careful about, is that if we find fault, if we blame, then really what we're doing is furthering the delusion of separation that separates us from God. This is why this happened, and if I don't do that, then maybe it won't happen to me. You know, there's that sort of distancing from someone. As much as you care and as much as you want to pray, it doesn't feel comfortable to think that could happen to me. And now it kind of sounds like I'm blaming us for blaming. And that's not the point. That's not my point here. My point is that we do it all the time, every day, in big and small ways. I know I do. I came out of the womb going, but that's not fair. I, for as long as I can remember, wanted things to be fair. And as far as the piece of the jigsaw puzzle that I'm holding, I don't see a whole lot of fairness going around. But what I trust is that there is a billion godzillion piece jigsaw puzzle that is the universe, and I hold one piece of it. One piece of it. So maybe all I see is the brown part. Oh, I'm the brown part. But I might find out that I'm the center of a sunflower. Or I might find out that I'm dirt, or I might find out that I'm the bark of a tree, or I might find out that I am a piece of the eye of God. Because genetically, it's likely that God has brown eyes. So surrendering to the mystery and not pretending that we know why things happen, but doing everything we can in every moment of our daily lives before we get sick to try to cultivate love and acceptance for ourselves, to try to cultivate what this feeling of wholeness is, which I catch a glimpse of every now and then. Cultivate it within ourselves, and then we can see it in others. When I say I see God in your face, what I mean is I see wholeness in you. I see the perfection in which you were created. And so I have to assume that even if your body is breaking down, that is part of the perfection. I know this is like, I might get shot here at a New Thought church saying stuff like that. But there is it's great when it works, when that healing power works. But what I've learned is it's grace whether it happens my way or not. And God can heal anything, even death. And that death is one tiny little step in this thing that we call life. And just from, Glenn and I were talking about it earlier, I had, it's been almost a year now since I had my knee replaced. So this fall, I'm probably going to do the other one. Glenn's braver than I am. He's led the way. But it was very, 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 very painful. And it was really hard in those first few weeks to think about anything except how painful it was. It was really, really hard to focus on anything else. And a lot of us have that kind of pain in our lives, whether it's physical, whether it's spiritual, emotional, whether it's that we see our children struggling, we see our sisters, our parents, our best friends struggling, or we just watch the news. There's so much pain that we could focus on it. But how we can heal the world, and the only way that we can heal the world, is to, despite that pain, hold on to this wholeness that we are. Not necessarily to try to change it. Okay, I'm going to be whole. If I meditate long enough, I'm going to be whole. No, I am whole right now. And there are things going on in my body that maybe aren't part of that wholeness. But I am whole and complete in this moment. I am who I was created to be. I am God's beloved, begotten of God. That's who I am, and that's who you are. So when we can remember that in any moment, and so what this comes down to is really sort of a Buddhist thing, mindfulness. Holding in mind that each moment is perfect. Bob likes to watch these murder shows, like the real life ones where they, and there was this guy who'd been in prison for like 30 years for a murder that he did not commit, that he had no part of. And the interviewer was asking him, aren't you very, very angry? It was this incredible grace of this man. He said, I guess I've just had to come to believe that we're all where we're supposed to be. After 30 years of punishment for someone else's crime, that we're all where we're supposed to be. And to me, that's wholeness. The thing of, I got to get it right, I got to figure it out, and I got to fix it, and I got to get it right. That's not wholeness. That's not wholeness. Wholeness is, it's all right here, it's all right now. Every breath I take is given by God, and when I cease to take breath, I will cease to have even this physical illusion of separation from God. I am one, regardless of any outside evidence to the contrary. Can you do that this morning? Can you just hold for a moment? I am whole, just as I am. Say that with me. I am whole, just as I am. How's that feel when you say it? Yeah? Let's do it again. I am whole, just as I am. Okay, I want to hear it one more time. I am whole, just as I am. Anybody feel uncomfortable when you say that? Thank you. It's like, I am whole just as I am, but I know that I need to get this tooth fixed, That's why it's the work of a lifetime, because we still have these human brains, and they still sell us this delusion that we are separate from God. And so in every moment, we just have to go, oh yeah, forgot, I'm whole. And I'll fix this tooth next week, if it hurts bad enough. Or I'll put it off because I don't like going to the dentist. But, the point is that has nothing to do with this. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. So we are healed in every moment that we recognize that we do not need to be healed. Can you hold that? And this is our work. And when we do that, we are healers for the world. Not just for ourselves, but for the world. This is our work. This is how we strengthen and heal ourselves and each other. It's what we owe to the world. It's our duty and our purpose in the world, I believe. So I ask you, are you willing to work with me to believe in your own wholeness?
Absolutely.
You are whole. Namaste.